This is a really important night, not just for the O2s, but for our association as a whole. And I know the weather's not exactly what we ordered, but we're going to push through, and thank you all for being here. We appreciate it, the O2s appreciate it, and I'm so proud to be a part of an organization that honors their seniors the way we do. So, without further ado, I would like to welcome onto Diamond One at Softball City the 2002 White Rock Renegades. Number 1, Caitlin Bradley Z with her mom, Christine, and her dad, Kenny. Number 2, Hannah Clay with her mom, Leanne, and her dad. Her U.S. college early, so she wasn't able to be here with us tonight. So we're very pleased to have her mom and dad with us. And last but not least, our special guest, number 16, Gab Patushka. And the people who truly created the magic on the O2 team. Head coach, Ted Kritzel. Assistant coach, Brianna Adams. Assistant coach, Jessica Dodds. And assistant coach, Lori Mae Kwan. and gentlemen, can I get a hand for how beautiful these girls look? They look different than they do in their practice gear. And now I'd like to introduce Mr. Greg Tim, the president of the White Rock Renegades.
YouTube channel Thomas Bell the channel ਉੱਤੇ ਲਾਈਵ ਚੱਲਦਾ ਹਾਂ ਸੈਲੀਬ੍ਰੇਸ਼ਨ ਲਾਈਵ ਚੱਲਦਾ ਆਪਾਂ ਵੀ ਦੇਖ ਲਾਂਗੇ Good evening everyone. Hello.
It's a curse.
I'd have to steal one of my
Check. Oh, mine works.
No. Testing one. One.
There. Give me that.
I don't get along well with microphones. Good evening, everyone. Tonight, we are here to celebrate the fantastic young women who make up our 2002-born White Rock Renegades team. The players who have endured minor softball and who are here today are all very accomplished young people, and we are so proud of each of you. As an organization, we are fully aware that softball has only played a part in the many experiences which have landed you here tonight. It is our hope that softball, though, has played a positive role in your development. Most of you have played softball for 10 to 12 years. During your years in softball, not everything has gone perfectly. You have all made mistakes, struck out, had a bad practice, a bad game, failed in a tournament, maybe even had a bad season. You have all had to play with a teammate over the years that you didn't prefer. You've had a coach who you didn't like, sat on the bench when you wanted to play. You may have even had an untimely lecture from mom or dad on the way home from a game about a topic that you really didn't want to discuss. What we have learned about successful people who win when it counts, is that they turn bad experiences into positive lessons. This is true in softball, but much more importantly, this is true in all aspects of life. Strikeouts teach you how to hit. A fumbled ground ball teaches you how to be a great infielder. Sports, and especially elite sports like you play, presents you with many small failures. A batter who goes out 65% of the time but hits 35% of the time is an absolute all-star. In your own way, you have all learned this and have risen above bad experiences to become very. For this, we salute you. You truly represent the 5 ships of the White Rock Renegades: citizenship, scholarship, leadership, sportsmanship, and championship. Before we introduce each player and their parents, we have a few thank yous, and to recognize a few people. It truly does take a village to get a great team to this point. And we have a bit of an announcement later on. Thank you to the good people who have worked so hard to put this event on tonight. To Kim Proctor, our volunteer extraordinaire, who does so much for so many to keep our association healthy. To Kathleen Papushka, whose daughter is the one player on the O2 team that does not graduate through tonight. She's born in 2003. Thank you, Kathleen. To Tracy Bell, who has worked hard and been kind enough to prepare and donate all of the flower bouquets we are presenting this evening. Tom Bell, who has set up our virtual feed, which would likely compete with Rogers' broadcast of the Canucks games. Diana Mather, who is supporting this event and so many other things we do. Thank you to you folks for your assistance tonight. Thank you to our Renegade directors and executive members who have worked tirelessly over the 8 years this team has been in existence. Like many things in 2020, it has been a lousy and complicated year. Hard for our core volunteers that have spent countless hours preparing for league schedules, tournaments, events, and all sorts of other things that never happened because of COVID. To our parents and families, thank you for supporting your daughter in their goals and dreams. It is you who have played the greatest role in your daughter's lives. You have supported them with your time and energy. You've supported them emotionally, physically, and financially. It is not easy being the parent of an elite athlete. Along with the many successes, you experience the disappointments and the obstacles along the way. The nature of training and preparing elite athletes is to make them strive for more and to do things they can't currently do, and to guide your daughters when a loss should be viewed as a win. Thank you for believing in us, the White Rock Renegades, and in the process, and especially thank you for believing in your daughters. We are all better for the experience. From the other associations far and wide, and the past coaches who made an impression in some way on these young ladies, they haven't only played for the White Rock Renegades. We have players here that have played for South Surrey White Rock Minor Softball Association, the Cloverdale Minor Softball Association, Newton Girls Softball, North Surrey Girls Softball, Ridge Meadows, Tri-City Tritons, the Fraser Valley Fusion, Abbotsford Minor Softball, and the Richmond Islanders. All of these associations played some part in making these players who they are today, and it truly takes a village. To our complete roster of Renegade coaches for this 2002 team back to 2013, when this team was an under 12A team and the players were 10 years old. Susan DeRoche, their first head coach of this team, took us through the selection process and got us through their first training season. She left on the May long weekend in that first year, suffering a heart attack in warm-up. Rick Leach, who shepherded this team through the rest of that season when Susan became ill. To Jeff Crosley, who coached this team for 3 years and laid the foundation for excellence. This is also when our beloved Brianna Adams and Jess Dodds joined the team. We thank Renegade alumni Danielle DeRoche, Corinne Dornberg for their contribution. In 2019, Roger Boyley took the helm of the team and took the team through the provincial tournament. A huge thank you to our friend Roger. Thanks also to Arnie Gronwag and Joni Fry for completing our national championship tournament with the team last year. To Coach Ted Birdsall and Brianna Adams, Jessica Dodds, and Lori Mae Kwan. Thank you so much for what you've done for our team this year. A very difficult year. You've worked hard in the off season. You prepared your team. This was your year. This was our year. And we got ripped off. We didn't get a chance to play. But you have set the foundation for these players as they move off to school to be well prepared. These coaches are skilled, well-planned, committed, dedicated to winning. They develop players. They allow players to find their own strengths. They are demanding. They expect and drive for excellence. For those of you who go on to play college ball or to move on to higher levels, you will reflect one day soon and wish that these coaches were still your coaches. You will know one day what you have. Thank you to our coaches. Thank you to our managers for this team over the years. Those of you who did a lot of work off the field. Specifically, we'd like to thank Kim Pilkan for your many years of contribution, and more recently to Kathleen Papushka. Thank you so much. Dedicated and great players make great teams, and the accomplishments of this team include 3 provincial gold medals, 2 provincial bronze medals, 2 Canadian championships, and I am convinced it would have been 3 in 2020. A silver medal in the Canada Cup Youth Championship in 2018. One of the best performances ever put forward by a Renegade team. They lost to Team Japan in the final. They beat Team Japan twice during that tournament, and the Japan coaches sent forensic investigators throughout our park that week because they were convinced that this was a Team Canada masqueraded in Renegade. They really couldn't believe they were playing a club team. In 2019, Coach Ted Birdsall won the Softball BC Coach of the Year. He was also selected as Coach of the Year in Canada. Are we convinced together, girls, that this was only because of the coach that you're so good? Or is it something to do with you guys? Enough of that now, it's time to introduce you to our players. To our young Renegade players in the stands, watch, listen, and learn. These are the exact kind of young women and athletes that you should aspire to be. To our Renegade families watching live streaming, watching virtually, we wish you could be here tonight, but we're glad that you can join us virtually. And we'll turn it over to Kim.
Can I ask number one, Caitlin and her parents to come up under the awning where it's a little bit dry. Number one, Caitlin Bradley Z. Outfield. The quote that best describes Caitlin is, hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. Caitlin started playing softball with the Richmond Girls Softball Association in 2006. Wanting to pursue her goal of playing collegiate softball, Caitlin joined the Renegades 03 when she got the opportunity to develop and joined the Renegades 02 3 years ago. When she came to the Renegades, she was a speedy right-handed batter who worked hard and developed into a leadoff left-handed slapper. Caitlin is a graduate of R.A. McMath Secondary School in Richmond, where she excelled both in the classroom and athletically, where she competed in track and field, basketball, and volleyball. She was the grade 12 top athlete award winner at McMath, as well as a consistent principal's honor roll student each year. To prepare her for her ultimate professional goal of being a doctor, Caitlin will be attending Orange Coast College in Costa Mesa, California, to play softball while studying sciences and being a resident advisor in housing. Caitlin's favorite softball memory was winning the 2018 Canadian National Championships in Winnipeg, Manitoba. As a pickup player with the O2, Caitlin was subbed in to run and scored on a squeeze play to win the championship. When asked which softball player she admires most, the answer was Larissa Franklin, because she is an outfielder and a slapper. Like Caitlin, Larissa committed to her university quite late in the process, but went on to have a stellar collegiate experience, and now is an anchor for the Canadian women's national softball team. While Caitlin recognizes the contributions of all her coaches over the years, she would like to give a special thank you to Mark Dunlop for seeing her potential and encouraging her to develop that potential to its full extent. And while thanking people, she couldn't go without recognizing her parents for all their love and support, along with Coach Ted, Coach Bree, Coach Jess, Coach Laurie May, Coach Mark, Coach Charlotte, Coach Arnie, and all of her teammates over the years for constantly encouraging her to do the best she could be. Advice to younger players: even if you don't want to go to practice or an 8 a.m. game, think of how much you are accomplishing at the end of the day. Picture yourself in the final at a national championship. Then realize that one practice or 8 a.m. game is just a stepping stone to winning that national championship. Caitlin plans to return to the Renegades in the future to volunteer as a coach. She is eager to help develop the skills that she has acquired throughout playing with the association and help develop future young Renegades. Number one, Caitlin Bradley Z. Number two, Hannah Clegg, Leanne, and Jason. Come on, I can see. Be as good on the field as you are off the field. Hannah came to the Renegades from Cloverdale Minor Softball in her second year of U12. She's been playing the game since she was 5 years old. One of the highlights of her career was being named the first base All-Star at the 2018 National Championships. Academically, Hannah completed grade 12, French immersion since kindergarten at L'École Salish Secondary, where she was consistently on the President's Honor Roll and maintained a 4.0 GPA for all but 1 year. Her goal is to become an animal wildlife conservationist, and she will be attending UBC as a Thunderbird to continue her studies and play softball. The best advice she was ever given came from Emma Dorvell when she told her to keep thinking, Hannah hits the ball hard, Hannah runs fast. Hannah's favorite softball memory is defeating Team Japan under the Saturday Night Lights at Softball City during Canada Cup. She really thinks it does not get any cooler than that. Another memory for Hannah is Amanda Pilkins' bunt home run on this exact year as a Renegade. Grace Mesmer is an inspiration to Hannah. Having grown up in Cloverdale like Hannah, Grace proves that anything is possible no matter your background or circumstances. It was always an honor playing against her and watching her perform her Mesmer magic. When asked if she ever had an embarrassing moment with the Renegades, she said that there were too many to list, but she can't remember the number of times she awkwardly rammed herself into a fence trying to catch a ball, or having to use a feminine hygiene product to stanch a nosebleed because the show must. Hannah dedicates so many of her accomplishments to 3 of her current coaches, Ted, Brianna, and Jess. You taught me what it means to be a Renegade and how hard work and dedication pays off. Thanks to Jeff Crosley for seeing the potential in a young player from Cloverdale and allowing me the opportunity to play for this incredible association. She would also like to thank her enormous family for supporting her throughout. She would also like to thank her enormous family for always supporting her throughout her career so far. Although the whole 2 crew cannot be here today, I know they're here in spirit. It wouldn't have been a game without at least 5 of them here cheering, all ranging in age from 6 months to their 70s. Coming from a player who has played for other associations, Hannah would like to pass on to the younger players here this evening that she feels it is truly an honor to play for the Renegades, and please don't take any year for granted. There are literally hundreds of athletes who would love the opportunities you have, so keep pushing yourself and working hard every day. It will pay off not only in winning championships, but with the life skills and friendships that will last a lifetime. Having already been an apprentice coach this year, Hannah is definitely planning on coaching in the future. Whether it be a high-level association like this or coaching her own kids playing t-ball, any way she can stay in touch with this game sounds like a win-win to her. Ladies and gentlemen, number 2, Hannah Clegg. Number 3, Kaylee Walcott. Parents, Lisa, Corey, and Marlon Walcott. Talent is nothing without dedication. Kaylee is an outfielder who's been playing softball for 11 years. She started playing house ball in North Surrey and then started playing rep with Surrey Storm. She's been a figure in the outfield for the 2002 Renegades for 2 years. Outside of softball, Kaylee participated in cheer and track and field at Lord Tweedsmuir Secondary School, where she received an award for Most Improved in Cheer and broke the school record for broad jump at 7 feet 1 inch. In the fall, Kaylee will be playing softball and attending Douglas College, where she's planning on enrolling in the psychiatric nursing program with aspirations to become a psychiatric nurse after graduation. Advice? The best advice Kaylee was ever given was to play every game as if it were your last. One day you will lace up your cleats for the last time, and you need to appreciate every aspect of this game before it's gone. The advice she would like to pass on: appreciate every moment. Yep, you'll get tired, upset, drained, and sometimes want to quit. But these are special moments in your life. The memories you make with your teams are memories that will stay with you for a lifetime. Your minor years go by so quickly. One day, you're in grade 5, and then you wake up and you're playing your last game. Take a deep breath, live in the moment. Memories Kaylee will never forget playing the Tri-City Titans at Nationals when there was a huge thunder and lightning storm. And they had to delay the game and take cover. And when they could come back onto the field, Katie Korstrom hit a home run and they won the game. A memory of an embarrassing situation. Sunday morning practice makes Sarah flinch with her bat. However, when she was trying to hit her, the bat slipped, came up, and punched Kaylee in the eye. She had to miss not only the practice, but had to go to the hospital and get everything checked out. Kaylee is planning on volunteering for Canada Cup as long as she can. Her grandma and dad volunteer. She loves watching all the young girls walking into the park with big smiles on their faces. It's amazing to see so many people who love the sport all together. Coach David Kwan was the coach throughout Kaylee's journey who made the biggest impact on her. She played for Coach David for 3 years, and to this day, he continues to believe in her and sees the best. He's always impressed upon her that striking out is a part of the game and making mistakes is how we learn. She would like to thank all the coaches she has played for. Some of them made her cry. I think I know who that might be. And some of them have given her the best seasons ever. She is grateful for the lessons each one taught her. Kaylee would like to thank her family. They have supported her physically, emotionally, and financially. She's not sure where she would be today without them. A special mention to her grandma, Sue, who is unable to be here tonight, but has come to every one of her games since she started playing. Thank you for being my biggest fan and supporter. Kaylee Walcott. Number 4, catcher, Lauren Benson. Lauren's favorite quote is from Ted Birdsall, "Work hard." Having grown up in the South Surrey area, Lauren started playing ball 7 years ago for the South Surrey White Rock Softball Association and has been a Renegade ever since. Lauren graduated from Elgin Park Secondary, where she played volleyball and was on the honor roll every year. This will do her well as she heads off shortly to the University of Connecticut to play NCAA Division I softball while pursuing studies in psychology and neuroscience and following her journey to fulfill her big dream of one day being a forensic psychiatrist. Lauren was asked if she could bring any 3 teammates on a cross-country road trip in the family van. Who would she choose? She replied that she could never pick just 3 because they all have so much to offer and would just be impeccable road trip partners. But she would have to insist on Hannah Clegg giving directions, leading them astray, and laughing the whole time. Lauren's favorite softball memory is from Nationals 2 years ago, when they won the championship on the same field they won it 2 years prior. The best advice Lauren ever received as a Renegade was to stay calm when hitting and to stay away from those rise balls. To younger players, Lauren's advice is to never give up on your dreams. It is all worth the time and energy you spend at the ballpark. Cherish the time you have with your teammates because it goes by so quickly. And she knows she has met some of the most amazing people and lifelong friends through the Renegades. The Renegades tradition Lauren is most proud of is specific to their team, and that is meeting everyone in the circle before the start of each inning and giving the pitcher high fives. She loves this because she understands how difficult it must be to be a pitcher, and she is sure being surrounded by her teammates is helpful in calming your nerves. As well, before games as a catcher, the pitchers and Lauren tap gloves before taking the field, and this carries on throughout the entire game, every inning. Lauren doesn't think she can thank enough people for her softball career and accomplishments. The list would take days to read. But 2 that she can thank are her parents for their love and support. She is very thankful to all the volunteers that she has had the pleasure to be surrounded with her entire career. She intends to pay this forward by always putting 100% of her effort into everything she does so that she can have the opportunity to come back and hopefully coach a team of her own. Ted Birdsall has been a huge part of Lauren's success, as well as Bree and Jess. She says she has been incredibly lucky to have some of the best coaches through her minor softball who have all taught her to follow her heart and face any challenges thrown her way head on. Number 4, Lauren Benson. Number 7, Emma Dorval, shortstop, accompanied by her parents Kim and Matt. Hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. Emma is another player who started playing minor softball for the South Surrey White Rock Association. She has been a Renegade for 7 years. Emma has been on the principal's list and on a roll throughout her time at Yale Secondary School, where she was enrolled in their softball academy. Highlighting her personal accomplishments are committing to the University of British Columbia and being rostered on the Canadian Junior National Softball team. Her professional goal is to ultimately become a genetic counselor. Emma admires Larissa Franklin from the Canadian National Softball team and a former Renegade, as she is an incredibly talented athlete who is also an amazing role model and has helped Emma personally with her speed and agility. When asked about her favorite softball memory, Emma narrowed it down to 2. One was winning nationals in 2018, as it was so emotional, and she feels that the team really came together to earn their success. Her second fondest memory was beating Team Japan for the 2nd time at Canada Cup, and she feels they really did not want to lose to the Renegades a 2nd time, and they were coming at them with everything they had. It was super exciting, and one she will never forget. The coach that has had the greatest impact on Emma is Dave Petkow. He's taught her how to overcome adversity and always encourages her to keep striving to get better. He has taught her that not everything in softball and life go your way, and that's okay. He also taught Emma to do burpees. I would have liked to have seen that. Which 3 teammates would Emma take on her cross-country trip? She would bring Amanda, Arshleen, and Hannah so that they could all wear their matching Disneyland t-shirts and have a final laugh before Amanda goes to school in Texas. When asked which Renegades tradition she was most proud of, she replied that it was the standard at which we hold ourselves and the amount of respect that is instilled for our coaches, teammates, umpires, competitors, volunteers, and more. One moment that stands out for her was at the 2018 Nationals, when the O2s as a team spread out throughout the park and thanked the hosts and volunteers for making the tournament possible, and to thank them for all they do to promote the game of softball and make it possible for the teams to compete at that level. To pay it forward, Emma currently helps coach younger players. Players remind Emma of why she started playing softball in the first place and how she grew to love the game. To Emma, helping coach the younger players has brought a little bit more fun back into her game. Emma would like to thank her parents for always supporting her and for taking her and her sister to the park for those extra reps before games. She would also like to thank her twin sister for always pushing her to be better and creating some friendly competition when they played each other. She would like to thank all the coaches that have helped to shape her into the softball player she is today. And lastly, she would like to thank her teammates for giving her not only lifelong memories, but lifelong friends. Number 7, Emma Dorval. Number 8, outfielder Arshleen Bajwa with her parents Navdeep and Jasminder. Arshleen's quote: "The individual has always had to struggle to keep from being overwhelmed by the tribe. If you try it, you will be lonely often and sometimes frightened, but no price is too high to pay for the privilege of owning yourself." Arshleen started playing ball in North Surrey when she was in kindergarten. She continued playing there until she started playing rep ball for the Surrey Storm. She joined the Renegades 3 years ago and has never looked back. Arshleen is a recent graduate of Kwantlen Park Secondary, where she was on the Super G list for every year of high school. This list recognizes students with excellent work habits. She has received academic certificates. for being the top student in social studies, math, and science in grades 9 through 12, and as well maintained a 4.0 GPA throughout her high school years. With plans of one day becoming a pediatric physiotherapist, Arshleen will be playing softball for the UBC Thunderbirds and studying kinesiology. Arshleen's favorite player is our own Sarah Groenwegen. This admiration comes from Sarah's ability to face adversity head-on and become one of the best in the world. She also admires how Sarah uses her social media platforms to share social injustices from around the world. Arshleen would like to thank her parents, as they have put so much of their time into the sport for her to succeed. They have driven her to almost every game or tournament, either at home or in the States, and have supported her decisions regarding ball. Thank you for putting in the countless hours towards my journey. Even through the yelling and on the drives back home after those bad games, I will always be thankful. I'd also like to thank Coach Ted, Coach Bree, and Coach Jess for helping me shape me into the girl going to play outfield for the University of British Columbia. The coach who had the most impact on Arshleen was David Kwan. He was her first Rep A coach and the coach that first recognized her potential and introduced her to the higher level of ball. He laid down a solid foundation for all of her coaches to build upon. Thank you, Coach David. The O2 outfielders have a little ritual of their own. After every out in the inning, they shoot an imaginary bow and arrow at each other. Arshleen and Amber Perry also have a special handshake they do before the beginning of each inning. The best advice ever offered to Arshleen is to not be afraid of failure. Without failure, there is no growth, and without growth, there will be limited success. Arshleen would like to encourage you all to never give up. Through your softball journey, there will inevitably be some rough bumps along the way. Always push through them. The hardest moments where you feel like giving up will be the ones you remember the most, and the ones that will define the player and person you are going to become. It will all be worth it in the end. Number 8, Arshleen Bajwa. Number 11, Lindsay Bell, pitcher. Lindsay's parents are going to pick her up on the way, and they're going to come by. It is better to be the one who smiled than the one who didn't smile back. Lindsay started playing ball 13 years ago before transferring over to the game. Started playing baseball 13 years ago before transferring over to the game of softball. Having grown up in South Surrey, she started out playing with South Surrey White Rock and played for Surrey Storm and Fraser Valley Fusion. Lindsay considers it a personal achievement that she made the Renegades 2002 team after trying out 3 times. Lindsay attended Earl Marriott Secondary, where she focused on academics and maintaining her grades to get into the University of BC. She did try playing rugby at Earl Marriott until her softball coach found out and made her quit. Next year, Lindsay will pitch for the Thunderbirds while working towards an undergraduate arts degree and eventually transferring to kinesiology. Her ultimate plan is to own her own clinic or travel with a professional sports team as her physiotherapist. Her favorite softball memory comes from her time with Fusion. It was during Canada Cup, and they were playing Hedo 1, one of the best teams in the tournament. In playoffs, loser goes home. She was extremely nervous because her coach had told her he expected her to last the whole game. And plus, Gord Collings, her coach, was going to be scouting, and she was afraid she would embarrass herself as he normally dominated. To everyone's surprise, Fusion ended up winning the game 10-3 after 5 innings, and she does not think she has ever been so happy or confused. The softball player who Lindsay admires most is another Renegades alumni, Danielle Laurie. Lindsay feels that Danielle's determination to keep pushing herself to the top of her game is super inspirational. Her self-motivation is second to none and hugely impressive. Lindsay could not pinpoint one coach throughout her journey that impacted her direction, because each and every coach, no matter how crazy, has taught her many valuable lessons about the game and life that have made her the person and player she is today. Being a first-year Renegade, all of our traditions were new to Lindsay, but she really liked the pep rally when the O2 team welcomed our first-year team, the O9s, into the association with the passing down of the jerseys. It was unique, special, and sweet. To these younger players, Lindsay would advise them to take advantage of every opportunity that you are given and embrace each moment in friendship because it'll go by faster than you think. Lindsay's most embarrassing moment was during a tournament in Seattle when 10 minutes out from the park, she realized she had left her entire ball bag in White Rock. Luckily, her cousin played for the Washington Huskies and was able to lend her a glove, and she was already wearing her uniform and cleats, so she was able to participate. And Lindsay would like to thank her parents for always wholeheartedly supporting her and for the countless hours of driving and managing hectic schedules. She would also like to thank all of her coaches and mentors for her development as a softball player. Lastly, thank you to all of her teammates for keeping her grounded and for just being the very best of friends. Number 11, Lindsay Bell. Number 12, Kiona Norquist, second base with her parents Diana and Ernie. I may not be the strongest, I may not be the fastest, but you can bet I work my hardest. Kiona has been playing softball for 11 years. She began her softball life with the Ridge Meadows Association, playing with the Tri-City Titans, and finally arriving with the Renegades this past year. Kiona's personal accomplishments include having the top batting and fielding statistics at the 2019 Canadian National Championships. Kiona graduated from Pitt Meadows Secondary School, where she was a consistent figure on the honor roll and maintained Super G throughout her entire high school experience. She was an integral part of the soccer team, where she earned recognition as the top midfielder throughout each season. Next season, we'll find Kiona joining her 4 other teammates as she will be attending UBC. With plans of possibly going into sports medicine, she will be studying kinesiology. When it comes to advice, life advice is opportunity over obligation. The best softball advice that she was ever given was to never give the coach a reason to take you off the field. The softball player that Kiona admires most is Kyla Holtz. Kyla, the University of Massachusetts alumni who grew up in South Surrey and represented Canada at the 2004 Olympic Games. Kyla went on to become a sports medicine doctor. As a young girl, it was always Kiona's dream to do what Kyla did, combining softball and medicine. And see Kyla follow successfully through this dream has been an inspiration to her. Courtney Gill is a coach who inspired Kiona from the very moment the two of them met. Courtney has a tremendous motivation, drive, and passion that is contagious. Courtney taught Kiona hitting and throwing skills, but also resilience, and that it takes consistent hard work to achieve your goals. When asked about any embarrassing moments as a Renegade, Kiona's answer was somewhat vague, and the answer was this year's trip to Las Vegas. We all know that one game. Going forward, Kiona would like to, at one point, become a volunteer clinician. She loves the idea of working with players in smaller groups or one-on-one to really get to know the individuals and break down the personal aspects of their game so that they can be successful in fulfilling their goals. Kiona would like to advise you that playing softball is something that brings you so many amazing things like lifelong friends and memories. But no one said it's easy. You fail more than you succeed. No one bats 1,000. Even though the work you put in may be tiring and frustrating, it really does pay off. Just remember to have fun. Enjoy the games, your teammates, and competing at the highest level. You are creating your future, and the past will stay with you in your memories. Kiona's favorite Renegades tradition is the Christmas dessert night. To celebrate as an entire association and donate toys and food to those in need was an amazing evening to be a part of. In closing, Kiona would like to thank her mom, Diana, who built the foundation for the player she is today. She taught and coached Kiona throughout most of her years as a player. She is her biggest supporter and the person who pushes her to be better in every way. Ladies and gentlemen, Kiona Nordquist. Number 13, Katie Korstrom, with her parents Julie and Derek. Strength doesn't come from what you can do, it comes from overcoming the things you once thought you couldn't. Katie is another softball player who started playing when she was about 6 years old, playing out of Abbotsford until moving to the Renegades in first year rep. Graduated from Yale Secondary School as a top honors Yale scholar from 2019 to 2019 and was a constant name on the honor and effort roll. In the fall, Katie is attending Azusa Pacific University in California to play Div 2 softball and pursue her education in kinesiology. Her dream is to represent Canada in the Olympics with the Canadian women's team, as she was recently on the junior women's national team, and then to pursue a career in physiotherapy. The best advice ever given to Katie was from Keith McIntosh, her coach with the Canadian junior team. He told us that we are now playing for something bigger than ourselves. I learned that what mattered was doing what was best for the team. Maybe that just means cheering from the bench. Katie learned the importance of putting the team and its needs before her own, and the importance of lifting up, supporting, and pushing your teammates to be the best they can be so that they can come together as a team. Katie has many favorite memories, but the feeling she had when she put on the Canadian jersey for the first time and heard the national anthem play over the speakers was something indescribable and a moment she will absolutely never forget. Katie's favorite softball player is Jenna Kyra. Jenna has been her role model for as long as she can remember. Katie admires how confident and strong she is on the mound and how amazing her changeup and spins are, and hopes to one day be in the same position representing One of the most impactful people in Katie's journey is Dave Petkow. He has taught her so many things, not just about softball, but life as well. He has helped her grow as a pitcher and a person, and has challenged her to think about the game in ways she never could have imagined. Katie would like to thank her parents for all of their support and guidance and for being there when she needed them most. As well, thanks to all her coaches, teammates, and people she has ever met over the years who have helped and pushed her to be the best she can be. After university, Katie plans on returning to the Lower Mainland and hopefully helping to coach the future generation of softball players. Whether as a volunteer, coach, or instructor, she would love a chance to help grow the softball community. To the younger Renegades, work hard and never take anything for granted. You never know what will happen tomorrow, let alone in the future, and this year has been proof of that. Katie never pictured her senior year playing out as it has, with little or no competitive season, canceled vacations, staying in our homes, and limited graduation ceremonies. Her other advice is to never give up, no matter what criticisms or hurdles you face. With hard work and determination, you can get anywhere you want. Work hard, live in the moment, and most importantly, have fun. Number 13, Katie Korstrom. Number 15, pitcher Amanda Pilcan. Amanda's favorite quote comes from Babe Ruth. Never let the fear of striking out keep you from playing the game. Amanda started playing ball as a youngster with Newton Girls Softball and is the only or one of two players on the team that has been with the Renegades for all 8 years. Amanda graduated from Sullivan Heights Secondary, where she was a member of the grad council, played basketball and volleyball, and was the assistant coach on the junior girls basketball team. All of this, and she maintained a permanent spot on the honor roll throughout high school. Amanda's plan is to one day become a police officer, and she will be heading to Texas to attend Odessa College and play softball while working on her graduate degree. Her favorite memories over the years were winning 2 national and 3 provincial championships with her teammates. The best advice she was ever given was to have fun in everything you do. Having been busted by the uniform police in her early days, Amanda's advice to you younger players is always make sure you have your socks on when you're in your Renegades uniform. When it comes to picking a favorite player to admire for Amanda, it's another former Renegade, Jocelyn Cater. Amanda admires Jocelyn as a fellow left-handed pitcher who had great mental toughness. Amanda would like to take that cross-country trip with Hannah Clegg, Arshleen, and Emma. So again, they wear matching Disney t-shirts. Amanda's most embarrassing moment as a Renegade came at a pitching practice at the warehouse. They were warming up. Amanda threw the ball. Emma missed catching the ball. The ball struck the fire alarm. The fire alarm started to blare. It was December and the building had a Christmas party going on. The fire department had to be summoned and everyone, Renegades or Christmas party, had to evacuate the building until the fire department gave the all clear. In Amanda's years as a Renegade, her 2 favorite traditions are the pep rally and the seniors night. It is so great to hear what the teams and players have accomplished and where their roads are taking them on the next leg of their journey. The handing down of the jerseys from the senior team to the junior team is a nice rite of passage, and she feels wonderful to have been a part of it. As to seniors night, she remembers watching this as a first-year player. It was a lot warmer and drier, and thinking one day it would be her, and here she is. Seeing the girls in their gowns instead of their ball gear lets the younger players know that being athletic and beautiful are not mutually exclusive. You can be anything you want to be. Amanda would like to thank Coach Ted Bertzel and Coaches Brianna, Jess, and Lori May. She would also like to thank Jeff Crosley, Coach D, and Ron Clark for their dedication and faith in her abilities. Family is key to Amanda, and she would like to thank her parents, sister, and grandparents for being her #1 supporters. Ladies and gentlemen, number 15, Amanda Pilkin. Number 17, center field, Emma Perry, with her parents Anne Louise and Robert. At the end of the day, you can't control the results. You can only control your effort level and your focus. Emma started playing ball with the Richmond Girls Softball Association in kindergarten and moved through the association to play rep ball with the Richmond Islanders. Emma has been with the Renegades for 6 years. A personal highlight for Emma over the last 6 years was being named to the All-Star team in the outfield at the 2018 Canadian National Championships. Over the last 5 years that Emma attended R.A. McMath Secondary School in Richmond, she has received Principal's Honor Roll and Straight G's each year. Off the diamond, Emma learned and participated in a ski program in Whistler in her junior year of high school. As well, she really enjoys photography and won a prestigious photography competition open to all high school students in BC. In the fall, Emma will be studying at the University of Victoria and will be enrolled in the Gustafson School of Business with her goal of being a business lawyer. When asked which softball player she admired most, Emma's reply was every one of her teammates. She admires all the hard work they have put in over the years. She admires all the leadership everyone has shown throughout the season. She admires the dedication each of them has shown. They've all sacrificed a lot to play the game at the level they do. She is so grateful to have been able to play with such a special group of girls and accomplish many personal and team goals with them. That road trip, Emma would like to pack the whole team into the minivan, but if she had to choose just 3, it would be the other outfielders, Arsh, Kate, and Kaylee, so they could spend their time coming up with more cool handshakes and signals for the outfield. Over the years, Emma has had many embarrassing moments, but the most embarrassing would be the day after Canada Cup, and she had to gas up before heading home to Richmond. At the gas station, she pressed the wrong button and filled her fuel car with diesel. For those of you who are not driving yet, that is like filling your gas tanks with mud. I learned a valuable lesson and inspired some cool t-shirts. Sorry again, Mom and Dad. Emma loves seniors night. She remembers her first senior night and being amazed by the group of girls sitting where she is tonight. Each of them had plans to pursue different paths. It showed her that although they were teammates, their journeys were different, and those differences were cause for celebration. All of Emma's coaches have had a tremendous impact on her. It started with Steve Smith, who taught her how to throw us, and continued right through to Ted, Brianna, Jessica, and Lori May. As an outfielder, I am so grateful to Jessica Dodds, who developed my abilities to become an intelligent outfielder. Her guidance, experience, and patience helped develop her love for the position and the game. Emma would like to thank her family for where she is so far. They have sacrificed many events and holidays and modified their routines so it would work with their busy schedule. Thank you for ensuring I have gas in the tank with all the delicious and healthy meals, and for traveling all over North America to support not just me but the whole team. Thank you to Sister Sophia for supporting my choice to play and having to make your own sacrifices. She simply would not have endured the journey without her family's support. Number 17, Emma Perry. Number 20, Sarah Wynn. Third base. Sarah's parents, Tanya and Dean, are here tonight. Somewhere behind the athlete, behind the hours of practice, behind the coaches who have pushed you, is a little girl who fell in love with the game and never looked back. Unfortunately, Sarah is unable to join us this evening as she had to report to her American college early to quarantine due to the pandemic. Sarah came to the Renegades just this last year after having played for 13 years, starting out at Ridge Meadows and then with the Tri-City Titans. She graduated from Pitt Meadows Secondary, having earned straight A's every year of high school. She considers her commitment to junior college her biggest achievement, as it is the realization of what she has always dreamt about, and she worked extremely hard to make it a reality. Sarah will be studying psychology at Bay College in Escanaba, Michigan, while continuing her softball journey. She's unsure what direction her path will take her, but knows following it will make her a better person. Like her teammates, Sarah has had many coaches over the years who have made an impact, but our friend, Rick Sullivan's advice has stuck with her. He told his team to work harder when they were tired. Whenever Sarah feels like she's running out of steam or can't keep going, she thinks of Coach Rick, and it encourages her to push herself harder. Another piece of advice that Sarah will carry with her is that talent means nothing if you don't work hard. Her advice to you guys is to never take a practice, game, or opportunity for granted, because as we found out this year, it could all change in the blink of an eye with no warning. Sarah admires Sis Bates, the University of Washington Huskies shortstop and Pac-12 defensive player of the year. That admiration comes from watching her play the game with a big smile on her face, never giving away the intensity and determination with which she plays. She inspires Sarah to work hard to be a better player in hopes of being as good as Sis one day. Sarah wants to inspire young players and help them in any way she can to develop their skill set and ultimately become the best they can be. Whether she becomes a coach or not, she wants to be able to inspire a love of the game the same way people have inspired her over the years. Her parents are the ones who supported her the most through their softball career. They took time off, they traveled, they drove, they paid. They were her biggest cheerleaders every step of the way. There is no way to ever thank them enough for the opportunities they have provided. As well, thanks to her teammates for welcoming her, pushing each other to be the best that they could be. Together, they are better than when they are apart. Number 20, Sarah Wynn. Pretty impressive team. May I ask Lauren Benson, Emma Dorval, and Amanda Pilkin to come forward, please. Kathleen, is there an extra microphone at the back?
Hi guys, I'm Amanda, and tonight we're just going to recap the years and share some memories with you. So we started off as 14 individuals with the right guidance of our wonderful coach Dee. We were able to become a family in no time. Throughout the years together, we shared lots of memories. For example, having nicknames for each other like Lauren Quarter Pounder. To sum up our play on the field, our parents smashed cake in our faces. Now, second year Renegades was a treat. We had a brand new member to our team, and that was abnormally tall Hannah Clegg, who could get us out of every situation with a home run. Now, on the other hand, I gained my nickname, Speedy, by getting a bunt home run. Our new coach Jeff, our new coach Jeff took us on a Mariners game where a home run was hit right at us. We really turned around our skills and won the majority of the tournaments, including provincials, where we mercied our opponent in the finals. Third year, we were ballers, coming off of our hot streak on Vegas full speed. It was our first time traveling by plane as a team, and you should have seen the look on our faces when we saw the wall of chocolate at the M&M factory.
Hello. So I'm Lauren, and to go off what Amanda said, I am pretty sure that Hannah Clegg and I definitely went into a food coma after we stuffed our faces pretty hard with peanut butter M&Ms. Wrapping up third year wasn't the prettiest of sights, to say the least. We were at beautiful Chilliwack, where it rained for 3 days straight, and most of you know softball and rain don't really mix too well. Same with softball and senior night, for sure. Not only was fourth year our first ever national championship title, but this was also the year we had to say goodbye to Coach Jeff. Jeff was able to bring the compete out in all of us, and to this day it's something that we pride ourselves on. Pepper is a game our team excels in, and we are not afraid to take one another down in order to get ourselves to the front of the line or get up to hit. Not only was fourth year a really big year for us, it included us beginning our rivalry between ourselves and Smitty's Terminators, which is obviously carried on to this day. So the setup at Nationals that year went a little something like this. Round robin games where you'll play everyone in your pool one time. If you lose one game, you have a very, very slim chance to work your way back into a final game, which was our goal from the beginning of the year. Sure enough, we lost a game that we were obviously the favorites to win in because we had beaten the team 10-0 prior to that game in particular. I still remember the feeling that I got in my stomach when Hannah and I got a text while we were sitting in the movie theater in Winnipeg from her dad, Jason, saying that we were going to be in the final the next day, where we ended up beating Smitty's in a long battle game, which followed by Jeff hanging up his coaching shoes on the fence on the third base dugout to say goodbye to coaching ball. Following the departure of Coach Jeff, we were all very anxious and curious to find out who was going to be running the show for us. I speak for myself and many of the other players when I say we were more than excited when Ted Birdsall was announced as our new head coach. The first memory I have from the beginning of our team's journey with Ted was losing to both Storm 02 and Storm 03 the very first day of a tournament. Definitely not a good first impression on our behalf, and for that, we still apologize. This year was a learning curve for a lot of us as we were adjusting to new coaching styles, but most importantly, being able to room together for the first time. A special shout out to Lorianne, Coach Ted's wife, fruit as our game break snack. We ended fifth year on a good note, placing third at Nationals in Delta, and thankfully we were able to convince Coach Ted to stick around for a while longer.
I'm Emma, and I've been given the last 3 years of our softball careers to describe. So to start off, I'm going to talk about our 6th year of being a Renegade. We were extremely successful this year, winning the majority of tournaments, including provincials and nationals. We were given the amazing opportunity to play the Japan junior team, where we beat them 2 out of the 3 times. This experience was surreal, and we learned a lot. On a more lighthearted note, we also decided to dress Coach Ted for the Nationals banquet, which I'm sure he loved. Nationals this year was extremely exciting. We had over an hour-long game delay during our semifinal game, which was scoreless until Katie's huge home run. Finals still make me nervous to think about, as we went into extra innings with Vaughan Vikings. Then in the 8th inning, with bases loaded, we had a perfectly executed squeeze play by Emma Perry, and Caitlin scored. We celebrated by going to Sergeant Sundays for ice cream, and by the end, we were all in tears. Moving on to our 7th year, we again achieved big things as we came 3rd at Nationals as the younger team. We overcame a lot of challenges this year, which made us closer as a team and directly correlated to our play on the field. One of the challenges was when we played at 1 in the morning due to rain delays in Canada Cup. The game ended with us mercing the other team in 3 innings. Our secret was espresso shots. One of the funniest moments to come out of last year was after we won a game in North Delta, and Arshleen was extremely excited. But as she ran out of the dugout to join our cheer, she absolutely ate it. Now, being the good teammates we are, we laughed at her before going to help her out. Now, I'm only going to mention this last part because it's an important life lesson that I think Emma Perry would like us all to know, previously mentioned, and that would be to never put diesel in a car that runs off gas. But we are all grateful for this honest mistake, as it gave us our slogan for Nationals, White Rock Renegades powered by diesel. Now, before I talk about this year, I'd like to say that even though it didn't go the way we wanted to, it taught us to cherish every moment together and to play every game like it's your last. During quarantine, we stayed in contact through weekly Zoom calls where we talked about softball and just life in general. But before Corona, we were able to travel to California, where we kicked butt on the field, but also had the best moment of the year. That is when Arshleen, Hannah, and Sarah got a key to Lauren, Kaylee, and I's room, and they pretended that someone had broken in. And then later on, while checking out, Coach Ted did mention this to a staff member, which accidentally got someone fired for not checking Arshleen's ID. Now, this isn't the first time a hotel staff member has been let go because of us, but we don't need to go into details. That's all I have for the past 3 years, but I do want to thank, on behalf of the team, our coaches, parents, the association, umpires, volunteers, and more, for making it possible for us to make these amazing memories and for giving us best friends for life. Thank you.
Do you want to just tuck it in? No, it's not. There's a lip there. Oh, there's not. Okay, so for the last little bit, I usually read a story, and this year's story is called You're Here for a Reason. You're here for a reason, you certainly are. The world would be better the world would be different without you by far. If not for your hands and your eyes and your feet, the world, like a puzzle, would be incomplete. Even the smallest of things that you do blossom and multiply far beyond you. A kindness, for instance, may triple for days or set things in motion in different ways. It travels much further than you'll ever know, under the treetop, over the snow, till it's wandered and fluttered and floated and twirled, making things happen all over the world. You're here for a reason. It's totally true. You're part of a world that is counting on you. So don't be too worried if some days fall flat. Good things can happen, even from that. Life can be tricky, there isn't a doubt,
you'll skin your knees trying to figure it out. But life works together, the good and the bad, the silly and awful, and happy and sad. To paint a big picture we can't always see, a picture that needs you, most definitely. Remember that next time a day goes all wrong, to somebody else you will always be strong. And that ball that you lose, or that kite you let go, could make someone's day. You just never know. You're here for a reason. If you think you're not, I would just say that perhaps you forgot. A piece of the world that is precious and dear would surely be missing if you weren't here. If not for your smile and your laugh and your heart, this place we call home would be minus a part. Thank goodness you're here. Thank goodness times two. I can't imagine a world without you. And in closing, I'd like to reintroduce Greg Tim.
Wow. If you're not inspired by these young ladies, you get inspired. We wish players all the success you deserve in the next phase of your life, both on the playing field, but more importantly, off the field. Take the many skills you have learned from playing softball: time management, discipline, work ethic, teamwork, persistence, goal setting. Take these skills on to the next phase of your life. Take them on to your next field. Take them onto university. Take them into your career. Use them in your personal life. They will serve you well. To all our players in the bleachers, from our 10-year-olds to 17-year-olds, know too that you will be here one day. As we forge ahead, work hard, work smart, be a great teammate. This will give your team the best chance to compete at the highest level. Be positive leaders. Whether you are on the field or on the bench, whether you are the pitcher, the catcher, the outfielder, the infielder, or the pinch runner, do your part and make your team successful. To our 2002 player, we are all in this together, but apart. You will have the unique story to tell throughout your life. Circumstances of your senior year, the COVID year, it just sucks. How you respond to the circumstances is more important. How you respond to circumstance is more important, more defining, and more lasting than the circumstance itself. When you look back on this very disappointing time, how you emerged from it will help define you. Losing much of your season to a virus was not what we had planned, but it is an experience that will affect your lives forever and a memory you will never, ever forget. We are made up of our experiences and our memories, all the things that you have been through up to this point to make you who you are. And the best part is you are not done yet. You're only starting. You will continue to experience things and make memories every day that mold you on who you will be. What kind of experiences will you create for yourself? What kind of memories will you make? When things don't go quite as planned, like this year, how do you handle the disappointments and challenges that you will face? Will determine the experience that you have and the memory you walk away with. If I may, I would like to pass on some advice. Chart your own course. Do not be afraid to take the scenic route, and don't be afraid to take the road less traveled. What you choose to believe will affect you and the people in your life. Please choose to believe in things that help you and your neighbors, and avoid believing in things that breed only anger and mistrust. Things do not matter, people matter. People cannot see your smile behind the mask. Let them know that you are smiling with your actions. Always show up. It may look different these days, but find a way to show up in new and innovative ways. Do not hit the mute button. Listen, really listen to the people around you. Try to see the world from their point of view, but do not be afraid to be your own person. Have character and be one. You will be remembered more for your kindness than for your accomplishments. Life brings opportunities and obstacles. Pursue the opportunities. Be persistent, patient in getting past the obstacles. Call for backup when needed. There are many people that will help you. Do not be afraid to make mistakes, but do learn from those mistakes and mistakes of others. Never be afraid to question the way things are done, and do not be satisfied with the inevitable response, because that's always the way we've done it. Don't listen to that. Always look to learn, to grow, to try new things, to screw up those new things, and to only understand the path you are on when you look back. Be a reasonable adventurer. Believe in yourself no matter what happens. Follow your heart, but use your head. This too shall pass, and the best is certainly yet to come. Find the joy. We certainly hope we have not seen the last of you after this year. We would like to make an announcement here, and I think I'm talking to the parents as much as I am the players, but Coach Ted and his staff, Brianna, Lori May, and Jessica, have announced that they are going to be back next year to coach the 2002 team in the deal that they have not closed. It's going to be a short season. It's going to hopefully involve a tournament or two, Canada Cup, provincials, and nationals. And we would like our players to have that chance. These girls deserve the chance to have their final moment. So we hope that we can get the support of the families, the players, short summer, have our 2020 season in 2021. We thank everybody tonight, especially we like to say thank you to the families for all you have done, for the support you've given us, for the patience you've had, and for the support of your daughters. To the girls on the field here, you're amazing. Really, I salute you for everything you've done and everything you are. You are a great inspiration. We do this for a reason as volunteers, as executive, as people that arrange things for other kids. And if we have a purpose in life, it is to produce an end product like we have with these girls. These are amazing players. Ladies and gentlemen, big round of applause for the 2002 White Rock Renegades.
Okay. No, yes.
All right, thank you again, everybody, for coming. If I can ask everybody on the third base side to head to the west gate and directly leave the ballpark, we would very much appreciate it. Please ensure you're socially distanced. Like I said, the city's been gracious enough to allow us to do this event. Players and 2002 players and parents, if you can just stay where you are, you're going to get some pictures taken here. As soon as the third base side is empty, thank you, first base, if you could go out the west gate as well.
And thank you for coming. Like I said, O2s, well, there's some pictures and some stuff to happen yet. Okay, first base side, off you go. Thank you again, ladies.